Caitlin Clark is a game changer for the WNBA. So why do some players seem so cold towards her? Her potential to elevate women's sports is astounding, making any animosity towards her perplexing. In this video, we'll discuss how Caitlin Clark exposes the WNBA. Let's get into it. The American cultural spotlight is shining more intensely than ever on a female athlete in a team sport, highlighting the incredible potential she brings to elevate basketball and women's sports to unprecedented heights. However, this bright and sometimes harsh spotlight isn't just on the magical Caitlin Clark. It's also recently shed light on the players that came before her. Interestingly, even though they stand to gain greatly from her increasing prominence, some of these trailblazers appear to be having difficulty with it. With an exciting 78-73 victory over the Los Angeles Sparks, the Indiana Fever marked their first victory of the 2024 WNBA season. This game was particularly notable as it marked former Iowa Hawkeye Caitlin Clark's first career win in the WNBA. Clark gave a reflection on her journey over the last few months during the news conference held after the game. She shared her struggles and provided an insight into the tough reality of her new life. In an admission that brought attention to the enormous pressure and scrutiny that comes with her growing fame, Clark said this: "I feel like I talk to the media more than I talk to my own family." As Caitlin Clark led Iowa to its second consecutive NCAA final, this time facing a loss to the undefeated national champion South Carolina, she delivered TV ratings that for the first time surpassed those of men's games. Her phenomenal performance captured the attention of the entire sports world. Naturally, some of the biggest names in women's basketball were talking about her. How could they not? Everyone wanted to hear the thoughts of superstars like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart on this generational talent, this household name, this record-breaking college sensation. Before the Final Four games, a question was posed to Breanna Stewart on SiriusXM Radio. Stewart, a four-time NCAA champion at UConn, two-time WNBA champion, and two-time Olympic gold medalist, was asked, does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history? This wasn't about being the greatest of all time, but rather if Clark could be considered among the greats. A category that could include many, making it a broader and seemingly easier question. One would think that someone who has scored the most points in NCAA Division I basketball history, male or female, like Clark, would automatically qualify as one of the greats. Stewart, though, answered right away saying this: "Yeah, she does need a championship." I think so, because then you're going to look 10 years back and you're going to see all the records she's broken and the points and stuff like that. But anybody knows your goal when you play college basketball is to win a national championship, so you need one. Stewart's remarks caused a great deal of debate, mostly negative outrage. Her answer was strangely dismissive, as if she didn't want to acknowledge that this young lady, who was over 7 years her junior, was changing the perception of women's basketball in the country. Rather, Stewart seemed to be sticking close to her roots at UConn, where she was able to win 4 national titles while playing on a team full of potential WNBA stars. By comparison, Caitlin Clark led Iowa to 2 consecutive NCAA championships, surrounded by players who were likely not to play in the WNBA. Stewart has the right to voice her opinions, no doubt, but her candor highlights the nuanced reality. However, Stewart did have this to say about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin is a star, and we're excited to have her in the WNBA. Given everything she's accomplished both on and off the court, she is without a doubt amazing. However, adding to the chorus of disparaging remarks directed at Clark was Stewart's fellow former UConn standout, Diana Taurasi, who at 41 is over 20 years older than the 22-year-old. When Taurasi and fellow UConn legend Sue Bird spoke on ESPN, the question was posed as to who they would select with the first selection in the draft if they were starting a WNBA team: Paige Bueckers of UConn or Clark. Taurasi didn't hold back when questioned about rookies like Clark and Camila Cardozo of South Carolina joining the league. "Reality is coming," she said, relishing the chance to give a reality check. "There are levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come up against some grown women who have been playing professional basketball for a long time." Those who know Diana Taurasi describe her as tough and brash, a relentless force on and off the court. However, this persona might pose a problem for Taurasi, assuming she even cares, given the influx of new fans drawn to women's basketball by Caitlin Clark. These millions of new spectators might not be familiar with Taurasi's legacy, but they are certainly noticing her now, for better or for worse. Throughout her young career, including the Final Four, Caitlin Clark has consistently shown gratitude and admiration for the women who paved the way before her. She expresses gratitude to them frequently for serving as heroines and role models for young girls and women. She carried on this habit and expressed her gratitude once more in her hilarious and recent performance on Saturday Night Live. For the remainder of her life, it appears likely that Clark will recognize and honor her forebears, while supporting and motivating the upcoming round of athletes. Stewart and Taurasi's comments during the Final Four provided a revealing glimpse into their perceptions of Clark. Insights that could become highly visible if Clark joins them as an Olympic teammate this summer. The demand for Clark to be added to the US team, which seems like a no-brainer to me, is gaining momentum. Lisa Leslie, a 3-time WNBA MVP and 4-time Olympic gold medalist, emphasized to ESPN, she better be on the Olympic team. We should not leave the country without her. She's a bona fide baller. There's no doubt she's already one of the best players in the world. However, there's an underlying current that has caught the attention of the US Olympic movement. If Clark is not selected for the Olympic team, it will undoubtedly raise serious questions about the role that factors like animosity or jealousy might have played in that decision. The ongoing national discourse sparked by this situation is utterly captivating. As some have pointed out, it echoes the way veteran players treat rookies in men's sports, begging the question, why not in women's sports? Does this signify that women's sports have progressed to the point where older players mistreating younger ones is seen as a benchmark of advancement? However, anyone suggesting that men's and women's sports are now on equal footing in our society is overlooking the glaring differences that persist today, be it in terms of money, sponsorships, coverage, or attention. While today might not seem like the pinnacle for women's sports, tomorrow brings new challenges. Yet women's sports still have a long way to go to bridge the gap, making any resentment towards someone as exceptional as Caitlin Clark even more disheartening. Sure, a bit of playful banter is expected, but let's be honest, was there anything remotely good-natured about Stewart's or Taurasi's comments during the Final Four? Regardless of Stewart and Taurasi's chilly demeanor, WNBA teams are fully aware that Caitlin Clark is now their main attraction, their golden ticket. Just recently, the Las Vegas Aces made a bold move by relocating their July 2nd home game against Indiana from a 12,000-seat arena to a whopping 20,000-seat venue. And mind you, Clark hadn't even been drafted by the Indiana Fever yet. Adding to the intrigue, the Phoenix Mercury, Taurasi's team, sparked a buzz on social media. They posted a promotion for their June 30th home game against Indiana, featuring Taurasi and another player in silhouette, since the draft hadn't happened yet, both wearing number 22. The caption read, "The GOAT versus the Rook." While Taurasi might not have been thrilled about it, even her team recognizes that to promote her effectively, they need Caitlin Clark. There's no denying it. As we've delved into today, Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise is shining a spotlight on the WNBA in ways we've never seen before. But what do you think? How do you believe Caitlin Clark is exposing the WNBA? And what impact do you think she'll continue to have on the league's landscape? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below, like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends. But don't forget to subscribe to NBA Swish for more amazing videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.